Pelicans fans are split on a proposed move that could bring an all-star to the Big Easy. We're going to argue about it for a quick second and also give you the latest breaking news that is coming out of Metairie about the return of a Pelicans player that is sorely missed. We'll give it all to you inside this edition of Pelicans Digest. What's good with it, y'all? It's your people, Melz On The MIC, back once again inside Pelicans Digest. Thank you so much for tapping in with me once again. Thanks for hanging in there with us as well. And thank you if you are a new subscriber. We appreciate you for joining us here on the show that gives you the best analysis, opinions, and more about the New Orleans Pelicans. Mel's talking about those Pels. And today I saw this story starting to track back up and trend again about Ja Morant, and I went back to go look at the comments that some of y'all left on a previous video I did about that a few days ago because I didn't know what to think about it. Okay, if you don't know the report, the Pelicans were inquiring about Ja Morant, according to reports. And you know what? I think I finally got my opinion down on what I want to think about this. And we'll get into that and argue about that. Plus, we got some breaking news coming out of Metairie this afternoon. But first, got to let you know that this video is brought to you by our friends at Kalshi. All right, make sure you get over to the link in our description and then use the code DIGESTNBA. DIGESTNBA. That is the code you need to use, and you'll get a $20 bonus when you trade $100 on Kalshi. And if you don't know, Kalshi is the largest prediction platform in the United States, and it's available in all 50 states. So you can go ahead and get in on the action right now on anything, sports, politics, anything. You can trade on it on Kalshi right now. And right now, you can get in on some of this action about the NFL playoffs going on right now. The NFC Championship game is probably the closest line out there right now, with Seattle leading the way right now, 59% over LA at 42%. But also a fascinating line that I came across as well is who's going to play in the championship game and who's going to win it all. And right now, despite the line being close on Seattle in the NFC Championship game, is far higher that Seattle's going to win it all. And a lot of people are thinking that Seattle and New England is going to finish up this season. So what are you waiting for, man? If you got the knowledge, it's a great way to use your knowledge, and you can get out of your positions at any time. So go to Kalshi right now. Use the link in the description and use code DIGESTNBA. All right, DIGESTNBA is the code for you to get a $20 bonus. And once again, we got to thank our friends Kalshi at Kalshi for sponsoring this video, all right? And let's get into the headlines. And, of course, the breaking news this afternoon coming out of Metairie is the return of Herb Jones. According to James Borrego, who was at practice today, Herb Jones did return to practice today and has been upgraded as questionable. According to Rod Walker of NOLA.com, he says Herb Jones practiced today, as I just said, and Borrego says he potentially could play Wednesday versus the Pistons. And he's going to be sorely needed, man. I mean, seriously, because like we said before, and as we have come to find out about this team, they are defensively stupid without Herb Jones. They're already bad defensively, but they at least are more stable defensively when Herb Jones is on the floor, because you can trust Herb Jones to cover your guy, whoever he's on. There's no need for you to switch off. There's no need to be doing all these unnecessary switches when Herb is on the floor, because you know Herb is going to get whoever he gets. Now, sometimes that ends up in mismatches for Herb, but he still handles it. Now, of course, what's needed from Herb is scoring more than anything. And hopefully he can get back on track with that going into a gauntlet. And these next few games is going to be a gauntlet for the Pels, man. I think they probably got like one win in between the next 4 or 5 games in them, possibly. And that's if we call it. That's if we're being lucky. That Detroit game is going to be a tough one tomorrow. But I also got up this morning, man, and not got up this morning, but, you know, after I seen that report, because that report with Herb Jones just came out a few hours ago. After that, I started seeing all these other nonsensical reports, and, of course, it's coming from Laker Nation. And, you know, just disregard everything Joe Dumars has said, according to Lakers fans. We just going to ignore what Joe Dumars has said. And we're going to run with this. We're going to run with this new rumor that is coming out now about Herb Jones. According to Kevin O'Connor, Herb Jones, he says Herb Jones to the Lakers. That's what he says. This one is not quite a layup, but definitely there's interest there. I see on both sides, the Herb Jones side and the Lakers side. So who's lying here? Who's lying here? That's my question. Who is lying? Is it Joe Dumars? Is he lying? Because Joe Dumars has come out and said repeatedly, he's put it out through his little sources, that Herb Jones is untouchable. Okay? But yet, once again, you're starting to hear this foolishness again from these sports writers and these folks who are trying to force this to happen. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what that is. It's the same thing every season. And that's why, we had to, this is why I wanted to take this opportunity to form and launch a channel like this. To fight against and push back against these kind of narratives. Because it's like, screw what Joe Dumars is saying. Yeah, we know what Joe Dumars said, that he ain't giving up nobody, but Herb Jones is interested. If I know anything about Herb Jones don't talk. Herb Jones don't talk. I'm going to tell y'all, and this is a true story. I went to the Back to Basketball event earlier this year, before the start of the season. And Herb was going around signing autographs. And I asked Herb Jones directly, could I get a quote from him about the season, and he said, no, thank you. And I left it at that. So at the end of the day, I know Herb don't talk. So how are y'all getting this information? Who's putting this out there? Who's lying is my question, as far as that is concerned. That's my question. But it gets annoying because, again, we got to fight back against these kind of narratives and these kind of storylines because they're not paying attention to the information that our team is putting out about this stuff. I even saw an article saying the other day why Joe Dumars is probably lying about the trade deadline. As bad as we want it to happen, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think we're going to make a move at the trade deadline. I don't think. Unless we're talking about the guys that are, as they say, available. As far as the second line on down. Which already has me kind of anxious. I'm already nervous about that. Because E. Missy is getting better, and you're talking about he's on the trade block. You didn't say Sadiq Bey wasn't on the trade block. Sadiq Bey is probably the most professional player we got on this team. And you're saying that he's on the block? Jordan Poole, I don't mind. Looney, I don't mind. Carlo Makovic, you saying he's available? You saying Jose is possibly available? I've been saying and consistent on this show and saying Jose is probably going to be. They're going to make Jose expendable, and his injury didn't help him. So that's what I'm anxious about with this whole trade deadline situation. But the main gist of this video today, or what I wanted to really talk about, was the video that we discussed a few days ago about Ja Morant. We had this discussion about Ja Morant a few days ago. Of course, if you remember the stories and the reports that came out that the Pelicans were inquiring about Memphis's asking price for Ja Morant. And Ja Morant returned the other night and had a phenomenal game, and that got the buzz going again. And according to most recent reports, though, two of the teams that were probably the most interested in Morant, besides the Pelicans, were Miami and Milwaukee. And now new reports have come out and said that those teams are out of the running and are no longer interested in acquiring Ja Morant. So according to some reports and according to the blogosphere and those who want to try to make this happen, they believe that this leaves an opportunity for the Pelicans to make a move on Ja Morant. And, I went to the comments a couple of days ago on the video that we talked about this the first time a couple of days ago, and it was split right down the middle. Some of y'all say, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Some of y'all say, hell nah. And some of y'all were emphatic and even use expletives, even worse language than I'm using. Then heck nah. So, I sat down and kind of thought about it, man. And, The only words I could come up with to describe if the Pelicans make this move and bring in Ja Morant and pair him with Zion Williamson is this going to be some fun losing basketball. That's the only two words I can put together with it. Fun losing basketball. It's going to be fun as hell to watch. If you're making this move, I think if you're the Pelicans and you're making this move strictly for the sake of moving more of these jerseys. Because you might have some, I don't know, they might have some colorways on day. You want to move some more of these jerseys. You want to get some Morant colorways out there in the street, some Ja shoes out there in the street, and you want to put some more behinds in seats to come watch some fun losing basketball because I don't think it's going to translate into wins. There's also the possibility of Zion maybe forcing this. Maybe Zion put this bug in their ear and say, go see about this. That's a part of me that's starting to buy into that and why this is probably starting to be, this is something, and it has become a thing. It's because I think maybe Zion may have done this and put him up to it and say, man, go see about Ja. It's an AAU though, fam. It's the NBA. So that's my thoughts on that as far as the fan base being split on that. But I don't think it's really going to happen anyway. Because according to a new report that just came out today from Mark Stein on ESPN, he says Zach Kleiman, who runs the Grizzlies, is way too pragmatic to let one game change that much. And they're talking about the game a couple of nights ago with Morant, where he went off. Ja Morant has made it very clear he does not want to get traded. He wants to stay. The reality is I don't think there is a huge market for him. I don't think there's a trade the Grizzlies could make to sell to their fans. And I don't think there's a trade that you can make that you can sell to us right now, honestly, unless it's Zion for him or you're doing salary for salary. I mean, if you want to bring it, listen, if y'all can make a clean trade between Jordan Poole and Ja Morant, I'll take it. But they're not going to do that. Plus, again, Ja Morant is making $39 million. That's, I know that made Gail Benson's stomach hurt. Considering the fact that you already playing $30 million to like 3 or 4 guys on this roster now. One of them ain't on the floor and don't know when he's gonna be back on the floor. So I'm gonna expound on that. I think we're gonna wrap up the Ja Morant talk unless something really drastic changes over the next 24 hours with the fact that he wants to stay in Memphis. And that Mark Stein went on in that quote to say that he's coming to the realization out there in Memphis that the franchise doesn't revolve around him anymore. And what is it that he really wants at the end of the day? And do the Pelicans have what they want besides Zion Williamson teaming up with him? I know one thing, if you do get Ja Morant, it's going to be some fun losing basketball. It's going to be a lot of dancing. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be some fun. Great, like they always say, a great league pass watch. That's what they always say, man. That's the number one thing I get about the Pelicans when I talk to fans of other teams. Man, they're a great league pass watch. Yeah, but not for me, though. You've seen them lose all these games. It's not a great watch. But, again, open to your thoughts on the Ja Morant situation. If you want to see that happen, what are you willing to give up to make that happen? And also the return of Herb Jones. What are your thoughts on that? Clap back with your thoughts in the comments, man, and thank you so much for tapping in with us today on Pelicans Digest, man. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also got to let you know that this is where you get the best analysis, opinions, and more about the New Orleans Pelicans right here on Pelicans Digest. Well, I appreciate you, man, and clap back with your thoughts in the comments.